deeper runs into phase 2s. This is an opportunity to continue that. He's put himself in a fantastic spot here. Both of our players on 31 match points. That was what I was starting to calculate. 34, as you already mentioned, seems like the way that we're trying to aim for with one more victory. And LUKAS could do that over victory over Drew Stevenson.
Yeah, LUKAS, a recent player. As you can see, some of those accolades in the past couple of years. But Drew Stevenson, as we've already featured, an aged-up senior recently, as you can see by some of those accolades. An EUIC finalist in the seniors division in 2023, World's top 32 in the same year. And then, of course, once aged up in the past recent years, Frankfurt regional top 8 this year, and another one to go with that as well last year. And here we see both of the players. I mean, as I've already said, you've been a player in this position, but let's have a look at the prize cards. Nothing too detrimental.
The Genesect might be something that Drew might want to see later, but our players are ready. Prizes there. Cards flip, fist bump, win and in action. Swiss round 14. Game on between LUKAS and Drew here. Looks like LUKAS is going to be kicking us off. Has just instantly top decked a buddy poppin'.
What a top deck there from LUKAS. So pivotal to find in your first turns to get some of these Pokemon set up. LUKAS with this Charizard variant. It is what we had featured previously on our stream. It is the Dusknoir, Pidgeot, and Charizard. Of course, managing those 3 stage 2s is a bit of an administrative nightmare, as I like to call it at times. Hard to manage, hard to navigate in those first few turns. What do you prioritize setting up? But in this circumstance, I can imagine a Charmander, possibly the Pidgey. Who knows at this point? I didn't get to see what was in the rest of the hand, but let's have a look.
Yeah, exactly that. Let's just run through exactly how the Charizard EX deck works. We've seen it plenty of times before. It's comboed alongside, as you mentioned, that Pidgeot EX. That Charizard EX has a fantastic ability, being able to accelerate energy onto itself with Infernal Rain, and then has that Burning Darkness attack, 180 damage base, but increases as the game goes on. As your opponent takes more prizes, that Charizard's hitting harder and harder. Combined with that Pidgeot EX, if we do see the Pidgey and the Charmander already come to the bench, Pidgeot EX has that quick search ability. Once during a turn, you may search a deck for any one card, I should say, and put it into your hand. That's any tutor piece to your hand where you need to do so. Then, when you combo it with Dusknoirs, this is where you can ramp up some of the damage. If you do get an attachment to the active Pheasanttivity, leaves it in the active spot for the moment. It's not as a threat. But then that's how you can kind of ramp up a lot of the damage with the Charizard EX deck, Ben. And it's over to Drew Stevenson.
Yeah, and what a top deck that was. Finding the Arven, all important to find in your first few turns to get these Gimme Ghouls set up for your later turns. I will mention, just looking at the prize cards, prizing that Genesect might come up to be, a bit of an issue for Drew. We know that the Goldengo deck doesn't play any way to search for those Goldengos other than the Genesect, and we can see a nice little key features image on the left-hand side. So we use the Goldengo to draw with the coin bonus in connection with the Lunar Cycle, as we already know. But Drew, just going through the deck, what does he search out for? You can imagine it's going to be that all-important Buddy Pop-In, find those first crucial pieces. Doesn't play any tool cards with it, or does play the Air Balloon and the Vitality Band in this deck, as we saw yesterday. Just going through the deck for just one first prize check.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to kind of continue on your point, using that coin bonus to draw all those cards, using Make It Rain for massive amounts of damage, discarding energy cards from your hand. Looks like it's a secret box pickup, that pink ace spec of choice alongside that Vitality Band there from the Arven. But again, it's utilizing additional cards, just like that Lunatone and the Soul Rock package, to draw even more cards. I know it's something you mentioned a lot, Ben. Just, you never expect Goldengo to need even more, despite already having access to coin bonus. But that's generally how you can overcome such big HP Pokemon. I mean, Charizard EX itself has 330 HP. That would be 7 energies for a one-hit KO. But as we do see the secret box there's that Tech Mega Marwile EX as well. One of those tech cards for anything like that Cornerstone Ogerpon EX, which generally is a bit of a struggle for Goldengo decks, but just having access to that won't be too useful in this matchup, because it is also a Fire Weak Pokemon.
Yeah, a bit of a hard choice coming up with this secret box. Getting rid of that Vitality Band. It's actually a card that I wouldn't mind keeping to make a more of an efficient knockout on that Serendipity, being 210 HP. It would have meant that only 4 energy required to take that knockout. But with Secret Box, the downside of it, of course, is discarding 3 cards, getting rid of that Mega Maw while not seeing its utility in this matchup specifically. But I think, actually, just looking at the board state right now, I think this is in Drew's favor slightly. That Serendipity, if he does find a method to take these first 2 prizes in this matchup, that is where Drew can really accelerate in this game.
Yep, absolutely. When you're a deck like Golden Go, as he's playing down the Artisan now, an opportunity to search a deck for a basic non-rule box Pokemon, it's going to be an opportunity to find those additional draw pieces like that Soul Rock Lunatone combo package. But yeah, you're right, as you mentioned, the 2-2-2 sort of prize direction or prize mapping that Drew would often like to try and go down is available because that Serendipity is now on the board. Not out of choice, of course. Lucas did have to start it, as we do get more pieces out of Drew's hand right now. The Earthen Vessel's pitching away an energy card, getting that metal ready to attack for a future turn, and of course can get that fighting energy card to use Lunar Cycle and draw 3 more once Soul Rock hits the field as well.
I think this is why it was such a hard decision with the Secret Box, because he could have gone, instead of Buddy Poppin for those 2, Gimmighoul could have gone for a Nest Ball for the Soul Rock and tried his luck finding a Buddy Poppin with the Lunar Cycle. But here we see the minor error running for the Gimmighoul, finding those 2 fighting energy, thinning the deck even further to find some required pieces next turn, passing over to Lucas, evolving into the Charmeleon, Lily's Determination for 8. Lucas will needs to start finding some of these pieces like Ray Candy, like the Pidgeot EX, to start really going and finding the pieces needed to put some pressure on Drew's board.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that Charmeleon is one of the newer additions to the Charizard deck as well, coming out of Phantasmal Flames. So another nice upgrade to some of the new sort of previous Charmeleons that you've had before. And it's just kind of that additional HP increase as well to 110, so it's actually quite a nice inclusion into the deck as well. And I know you're eyeing up a card there that's also in Lucas's list, that Moltres, Ben. Yeah,
the recent Moltres coming out of our Phantasmal Flame set is another way, other than what we saw yesterday with Oyvind playing the Chi-Yu. Lucas is opting going for the Moltres. The Moltres, Fighting Wings. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, this does 90 more damage. And of course, with Goldengo's weakness being fire, this is a way for Lucas to get ahead of the prize race. It's a way to cheat it initially, because that Moltres is such a massive threat for Drew to get rid of.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, as you kind of correctly mentioned, 90 plus 20 is only 110. Doubling it is to 220, so it does need that damage modifier to be able to reach the knockouts on Golden Go EXs. As we do see another Charmander hit the field, I'd love to see maybe some Duskulls, but I don't think we've actually reached to that point there, as we do get a Mist Energy onto a Pidgey. It looks like we're going to be calling for family as a retreat onto the Serendipity, all with the Technical Machine Evolution instead, and we're just going to evolve up the other Pidgey on the board and choose the other Charmander as the evolution there. Maybe get the second Charmeleon into play, then you're kind of allowing yourself to have multiple threats on board, and even if this Pidgey goes down or the Pidgeotto goes down on the bench, you can still find a way to burst into that Pidgeot EX.
I really like prepping this second Charmeleon, because there would be nothing stopping Drew finding a knockout on that lone Charmeleon on the bench, making it even more difficult for Lucas to find the pieces for a Charizard EX, because Drew's in a really good position here, because if there's nothing stopping him just evolving into these Goldengos, not bothering with a single prize board state, and knocking out the Serendipity to put himself 2 prizes ahead. I think for Drew, if he can manage a 2-2-2 prize race, that's exactly what he wants. A retreat into the Soul Rock, unable to find the pieces needed, a Cosmic Beam for knockout on that Pidgey, leaving himself with a single prize board state. So that is the route that Drew's going to go down. This is a more conservative, more of a conservative play, I would say, not going for any sort of knockouts on the Serendipity, not trying to find those pieces, because it will require more, and it's a pass over to Lucas.
That was a knockout. It was a knockout. First prize taken.
Sorry, it's a knockout. It's a
Cosmic Beam
it's a
for a
pass
knockout.
over to LUKAS, but it's a knockout as well, all right? We've already established that.
Has activated now. Pheasantipity on the bench, of course. It was a Cosmic Beam that has knocked out that Pidgey for the first prize here. As you correctly highlighted, I mean, a single prize board set is something that Golden Go typically hasn't been able to really do in many sort of its previous sort of iterations. Now it has this combo, has that efficient attacker, has the fighting energies to utilize for all of those big make it rain attacks. As we do get the Pidgeot coming down now, we do have Quick Search live. We've just used Artisan for that Duskull. I think it's going to be pretty key here to utilize those Duskulls to reach those numbers. What I've already mentioned with the Moltres, when you have to hit those damage modifiers eventually into Golden Goes, that's where you really sort of come to the fore in terms of that damage. But here comes the flip the script, Ben.
Yeah, this is really interesting, actually. Benching that Duskull will mean that Drew has another option to take a knockout on a single prizer. What the board state was telling me with LUKAS was that nothing was within that 70 HP range for a knockout. So it would have left Drew requires to take out a knockout with a Goldengo, which is exactly what LUKAS wants to see. So an interesting choice to bench the Duskull, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's just the necessary evil of having to utilize Curse Blast, or at least threaten the Curse Blast at some stages. We do get the Iono. Drew gets to draw 5 cards, I should say, and then LUKAS gets his 6. We do see, it looks like, that Moltres coming down onto the board now. So showcasing, that's exactly what I'm going to be going for. And here comes the Quick Search. This is going to be quite a key, pivotal decision here. I wonder if we're going to see the Charizard get a big, bulky Pokemon, sort of maybe waiting in the wings, or maybe start forcing some awkward scenarios for Drew, because if we can get a big Charizard EX in the active, there's a lot of expenditure to try and take it down, especially when we combo with the ace spec of choice, Ben. That's Hero's Cape. Yeah,
Hero's Cape, an interesting choice from LUKAS, not going for any other ace spec. Seeing the value in a plus 100 HP, that'll make it quite a chunky Charizard EX. And now, this is where Drew needs to accelerate. He needs to be able to take 2 prizes this turn at this point. Does have a Gimmighoul already with the energy required for that Make It Rain attack. It's whether now he can really explode. He can really draw those cards and get into those crucial pieces.
Yeah, so it's over to Drew after a massive Burning Darkness attack, dealing 210 damage to that active Soul Rock. And now we're going to get that Artisan, maybe kind of replenishing that Soul Rock back again so that we can get Lunar Cycle back up and running, because we're going to see that need to draw more cards. We're going to need to see that additional energy scale as well. We don't have Fighting Gong and Nestball in hand, so we can continue pulling out the right pieces. There comes the fighting energy from that Fighting Gong as well. I'm sure Drew's going to be eyeing up a massive knockout here. If not on this Charizard, at least on a 2-prizer this turn, just to kind of force some awkward scenarios. There's the Pheasantipity from the Nestball as well. He's going to flip the script himself at some stage here. Earthen Vessel to grab some more energies first. There's a lot of combo pieces that are really come along together here. And one of the cool things that we're seeing in Drew's list is something that we haven't seen too often more recently. His out to maybe sort of the item locking is that Stadium Levincia being piloted in the deck alongside 2 lightning energies, as we saw him actually grab one already right now.
Yeah, and I'm talking about Drew taking a 2-prizer here, really needing to go ahead of the prize race, but there's no threat in just going for this Duskull. This Duskull here will still put him within range of that 2-2-2 prize race, I suppose. But he does have another option. He can go for this Charizard EX as well as another way of getting rid of the biggest threat on the board. But we know that Goldengo does not play any sort of hand disruption. So that would have been, that would have probably been best. But big Lunar Cycle here. What does he see here?
He hasn't got any Goldengo EXs right now. I'm not too sure there's any in hand, so has to kind of draw into one. I'm not too sure we've hit anything, unless I've missed it from the hand there. There are no Goldengo EX pieces, which means there's not really much we can do. Maybe have to just kind of do a small swing into the Charizard EX with the Soul Rock once again.
I still don't mind picking up the Pheasantipity with
the boss's orders.
No, there's no boss's orders either. I still don't mind picking up the Pheasantipity with the Professor's Turo as well. Yeah, I do like this from Drew. Keeping a single prize board state once more. It's not ideal. It's not ideal doing 70 damage to this Charizard EX. At least we know that LUKAS plays the Hero's Cape. So at least it reduces the damage needed to take a knockout for next turn if possible. And here we pass over to Lucas.
Yeah, another Cosmic Beam onto that Charizard. 70 damage now on it. It's now down to 260 HP on that active Charizard EX. So this gives maybe Lucas an opportunity here to really go ahead in that kind of prize race, prize mapping race that you've kind of mentioned there, Ben, because he can go down to the 4 prizes before Drew does and kind of continue this kind of constant threat, right? We have Pidgeot EX active and live. We've got Quick Search right here, right now. Looks like we're eyeing up maybe that boss's orders at the front of the deck here, but just kind of deliberating exactly the direction we want to go down. Of course, does still have that Duskull, which is, again, as you mentioned, a bit of an easy target at times. Oh, looks like we are eyeing up maybe that Dusclops there from the Quick Search, just to kind of get evolved up, get it ready for a future turn. And that's where things could really start progressing, because typically the damage modifier without the Dusclops, without Curse Blast, is that Defiance Band. And if Lucas starts going ahead on prizes, that Moltres isn't really able to take a simple knockout on a Golden Go EX.
It's a real awkward spot for Drew, because he does have, and I must let the audience know, there is a 50 HP Gimmighoul on the field. So it does put it within range of this Dusclops as well. So he is able to take 2 prizes this turn if he wishes to and get ahead of that prize race even more. Oh, this is even more damaging to Drew. We're taking a knockout on the Gimmighoul, not going for the knockout with the Dusclops. Interesting choice, I would have thought. Maybe opting for a future play with a Duskmar for a knockout on the Solrock or Lunatone. But yeah, this isn't great for Drew.
No, I think we're just saving it for big knockouts on the EX Pokemon now. They give up the 2 prizes. You want to be able to smack those for as hard as you can, especially when, even if you just, you know, if Drew takes 1 more prize, Charizard's still then only doing 240. So you still need to overstretch at some stage, right? But it's over to Drew now. The sort of initiative and advantage has gone over to Lucas right now, and it's just over. It's going to be a scoop as a concession from Drew. Lucas too far ahead. Drew unable to find that Golden Go EX, and it looks like it's going to be Lucas who takes game 1 here in the Swiss round 14. What a great way of kind of demonstrating exactly why what you mentioned before, Charizard being maybe a choice for this tournament.
Yeah, Charizard showing the power from Lucas there. I think for Drew, the writing was on the wall when he couldn't take a single prize, even with the Solrock. So it was forcing him essentially to bring out the Golden Go, and that's exactly the position he doesn't want to be in, being that Lucas was already ahead on prizes. So I think for Drew, yeah, quick concession. Let's try and take the win here. This is a winning in for both players. They will see it as that. 34 points is the required, we think, for top 8. So yeah, for Drew, I think quick concession. Let's go to a game 2. Let's try and get to a game 3 so I can take this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just kind of the writing was on the wall just because of how ahead, even it was just that single prize being ahead of Luca, of himself. So that's why Drew had to make that concession. One of the other key things that we want to be keeping an eye on later down the line as well, we know Charizard's starting to fit back in that Briar again. Yes. We have to take that single prize early. That's another way to kind of, again, I like to call it legalized cheating, but take additional prizes when you're not really supposed to. And that's one way. If Drew ever goes down to 2 prizes and Lucas is still on 3, if we take a massive knockout on a Golden Go EX with Briar being played, I mean, that'd be one way to just take 3 prizes in one go.
And, you know, that's such a plus of this deck. There are so many ways to manipulate that prize race with Briar, with the Duskmar. And there's so much synergy in the deck, isn't there, with all of these little tiny options within the 60. And here we see both players readying up. I think that's going to be a mulligan from Lucas, giving Drew an additional card for his first turn. Yeah,
great. I mean, I was going to say what a mulligan is. Some people might not know if anyone's watching as well.
Sorry,
so if you don't find a basic Pokemon in your active 7 cards, or the 7 cards that you draw, your opponent has an opportunity to take 1 mulligan card, an additional card, prior to the game starting once your opponent has found one. But if there's more mulligans, you can take additional ones as well for how many times your opponent cannot find a basic during their setup phase. So here we go, just kind of double checking. Lucas here, just getting his 7 cards ready, double checking what's going to be available to himself. Does find a basic, and it's one of those other additional tech cards into the Charizard now to try and make things more consistent. You talk about those one-offs, that's one card to make it a bit more consistent. We get a chance now to see those prizes. A couple of Fire Energy can be a bit tough to deal with. 1 rare candy on the right-hand side, nothing too crazy. So it looks like, and I hope we're going to get a game 2 now of our Swiss round 14. Lucas will be kicking us off. Has Buddy popping again in hand. We had a little clap and applaud there by Drew. Just both our players just try to enjoy themselves as they face off in a really high stakes win and in action match.
Yeah, another great top deck from Lucas to find that buddy pop in. But yeah, I really do like the Tatsugiri start here. At least it's not the only two prizes that you can start, which is the Pheasantipity. He'll really reeling that as well. So here we see the first prize check from Lucas with that buddy pop in. You'd like to see another Charmander and a Pidgeot. I believe I saw Rare Candy and a Dusknoir in hand, so can go for the really aggressive turn to Dusknoir if he has that in hand. But you can imagine it would be just the Pidgey and the Charmander. This is the real foundational start from Charizard, isn't it? Finding those two crucial pieces and those Pokemon to get yourself set up in the game.
Yeah, I mean, have you already mentioned Tatsugiri in the active with that attract customers ability, right? It's just such a useful way to kind of burst into the right cards at the right times. And just by having, you know, the Pidgey and the Charmander on the bench already, you don't have to worry too much. You can just leave the Tatsugiri in the active. We do get the attract customers now being utilized. As mentioned, it's look at the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal a supporter there, and put it into your hand. We do find a Lily's Determination, which is a great pickup for turn 2 once it comes back over to Lucas. Drew can look for a way to maybe start initiating that prize race once again, but let's see if we're going to be able to even get to that point from this scenario. We haven't had a chance to glimpse at Drew's hand as of yet, but let's look how we're going to work this out.
Yeah, managing 3 stage 2s is a bit awkward, so Tatsugiri just gives you that little bit of an extra edge in those first initial turns to find those Arvens and Lily's Determination. Pass over to Drew there. I think it was a top deck of an Arven. I think this is just a repeat from game 1, actually, at this point. Nestball eyeing up those Solrock and Lunatones. You don't want to be wasting it on a Gimmighoul. That's what the Buddy Poffin is for. Just doing a little prize check. How many fighting energy do I have? How many things do I need here to take a single prize knockout on turn 1? Another Nestball. You can imagine it's going to be that the Lunatone here. Now, does have Arven for the retreat into the Gimmighoul. That's why he was eyeing up that air balloon. Earthen Vessel for those 2 fighting energy. Can Lunacycle, can attach to that Solrock for that all-important Cosmic Beam to put him 1 prize ahead in this game. Imagine the Arven coming down as well this turn. Just shuffling up now, though, from that Earthen Vessel.
Yeah.
Just having a cycle first before doing the Arven, maybe finding another potential supporter for this turn. Draws into the Fighting Gong as well as a Professor Turo, and I think it was another Fighting Energy, actually.
I mean, the Arven will allow him to grab that air balloon and then go straight into a Fighting Energy attached Solrock, so we can Cosmic Beam once again. We never just pass over. We're dealing some relevant damage and potentially taking some knockouts here. Looks like it's just eyeing up a Buddy Poffin as well. Maybe just kind of get the board set up with further Gimmighouls. This time with no Genesect prize. He does have access to a Nestball at some stage to be able to grab Genesect and then load up those Golden Goals into hand pretty quickly, as we see another Earthen Vessel here, just like that first game. We're seeing Drew with a lot of actions with a lot of those items. Yeah,
not going for the Buddy Poffin, just going for the Earthen Vessel, putting that hand to, well, making a very big hand of fighting energy for that Lunar Cycle next turn. Did fortunately have another Gimmighoul in hands, and here's a Cosmic Beam first prize.
Yep, there we go. So Pidgey has to go into the active spot now. It's not the Cool for Family Pidgey, but maybe we're looking for the similar turn that we had before as well. We are working with an Arven in hand and energy. That could be an opportunity to maybe grab another Buddy Poffin and start utilizing that Technical Machine Evolution as well, because that's also available in the deck. Now that he has options available to himself, I think this is where Lucas is really just deliberating the direction we go down. Of course, remember, we do have a couple of those Fire Energies prize. We do play 5, so whenever we do get a Charizard's Infernal Rain off, we will see sort of it for full flow, as we do see now an Ultra Ball pitching away that Klefki tech and the Arven. I don't know if there was a second one in the hand.
I thought it was a Dusclops there, actually.
Oh,
but it was a Klefki.
It was a Klefki.
There you go. There you go.
Useful card. We've seen how pivotal it was in our phase 1 of some of our stream matches we've seen already. We do get another Charmander down. So let's see the direction here.
This is a great spot for Drew, and not only because, he has prized that second Solrock, but that's not necessarily a problem. Lucas only has the option of evolving into a Charizard DX to take a knockout on this Solrock, and that's exactly the position that Drew wants to be in, because then he will be able to promote that Goldengo for a 2 prize and get himself himself ahead, even further into the prize race. That's exactly what Drew wants to do. He wants to bait those two prizes coming out from LUKAS.
Yeah, it's definitely one route. And then if we don't get that, I mean, Drew will be looking for another way just to take an easy, another single prize with that single prize board state. I mean, we could prevent that by attaching that Hero's Cape we just drawn to that Pidgeot, but we do get the rare candy into the Pidgeot EX just off that Lily's determination. Maybe this was all the right way and right direction to go about this deck rather than the Arven into Technical Machine Evolution here. But now it's just even more decisions to make because we do have another Ultra Ball just pitching away another one of those Pidgeys with that Mist energy. Just going to see which direction we go down here. Looks like it's going to be that Charizard EX.
Charizard, yeah.
Maybe we're going down that Hero's Cape route for the Charizard instead.
Yeah, I don't know if he had rare candy in hand already. Didn't have it, so can't find that Hero's Cape from the quick search, unfortunately. Evolving into that Charizard EX, this is exactly what Drew wants. He's managed to find a way to get those two prizes out from Lucas's board.
Hero's Cape's in hand.
Oh, Hero's Cape's in hand.
That's why I was saying we could protect that Pidgeot if we really wanted to by slamming it on if we didn't hit rare candy Pidgeot. But maybe this is why he's gone down this direction. If we add the Hero's Cape, it adds an additional 100 HP. It's an ace spec after all. 430 HP Charizard EX smacking away with Burning Darkness. 210 damage on that Soul Rock. And it's a tall order to try and get, I mean, 9 energies. 10 energies with attachment to a Golden Go. Do we even have those energies?
Plays 11. So
plays 11, one prized.
And one prize, no, sorry, 10 in the deck. So all but one. So, yeah, I mean, not going to be manageable, is it really? I would say at this point. Not on turn 2, at least.
Where there's a world, there's a will, there's a way, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you can say that to yourself, I suppose. So this fighting going for another fighting energy. No more Soul Rock on the field. One in the discard pile, as we can see here. One is prized as well, so we'll need to find a Night Stretcher to find that Soul Rock once more for a knockout on this Charmander here. It's not all over for Drew at this point. But yeah, I mean, it can still also go for the boss's orders on the Pidgeot as well if he wants to really accelerate himself into the prize race. But there's not that much pressure. I think the pressure here is whether he has to, he's being forced, to hit that Charizard EX.
Yeah, absolutely. That Charizard with a lot of HP in that active spot, a big threat to Drew's board state right now, because it's, as we mentioned, it's very difficult to deal with that Arven now being played. Going to be able to choose an item and a tool card to put into hand. I do wonder what direction we're going to go in here. We don't have the Golden Go EX yet, so there's still plenty of time, or plenty of cards that we need to even get to that stage. He's eyeing up that Nest Ball. There's the Vitality Band. Nest Ball being chosen from the item of choice. Genesect EX being eyed up because of that fantastic Metallic Signal ability it's got, being able to search your deck and pull out up to 2 Evolution Metal Pokemon and put them into your hand. And it's combos so nicely with the 2 Golden Go EXs that has just hit the field.
This is the only way that Golden Go, the deck can search out those Golden Go EX. Doesn't play any Ultra Ball. So prioritizing going for the Nest Ball for that Genesect EX. And now that we see the first coin bonus, does find boss's orders. There is a lot of energy in hand, by the way. I know that he played Fighting Gong and the Earthen Vessel turn 1. So I don't know if he definitely has it, but there are lots of energy in there.
Could be a crazy knockout, and I mean, that is literally flipping the script. I flip the table if we hit all 10 energies available. It does have the Superior Energy in hand as well. Couldn't quite see exactly how many energies were in that hand. Wonder if it's just one short. We do need to kind of double check there. And as I do count, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in hand. It looks like at least 3 in the discard pile. Remember, it does need to get the attachment there. So then there's 4 left in hand. Superior Energy Retrieval. Discards 2 cards from your hand to get up to 4 energies from your discard pile back into hand. Is there enough? I mean, this maximizes 4 out of the discard pile plus the 4 in hand. That'll be 8. That's 400 damage. Not quite there. Do we have that final card? If there is 4 in the discard pile, there is 4 in the discard pile. There's 8 energies in hand. It looks like we're 1 energy short.
Yeah, at least he has the security knowing that the Charizard EX won't be able to take a response knockout. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, not enough to take the knockout on that Charizard EX. But at least he has the security. At least he knows that Burning Darkness isn't going to be able to take a knockout on anything on his board state other than that Lunatone.
400 damage, and it's not a knockout. Look how many dice are on that Charizard right now, as they're kind of, both players are even just calculating exactly how many dice we need to put on. Genesect itself has 220 HP, so the 210 that Burning Darkness could even do right now is still not enough. Is this just a moment to maybe deal some damage? I mean, you have to be worried about Drew also having things like Professor Churro's scenario.
Yeah, he'll be dreading that.
We have seen one hit the discard pile already. It's almost like telegraphing that maybe one of them has been utilized, and, you know, finding a second might be a bit difficult. But let's see how Lucas plays this out now. I don't think anyone's seen as many damage counters on a Charizard like this in quite some time. 30 HP remaining. We do get an Arven being played after that Charmeleon has hit the bench as well. So let's look at this direction that Lucas is going to go down. Is eyeing up some of those important pieces like that Duskull once again, and the Defiance Band. Useful way of increasing the amount of damage you can do.
I mean, with the Hero's Cape attached, you can't use that Defiance Band to take the knockout on the Genesect EX. There's nothing there that Lucas will be able to take a one-hit knockout on, other than the Lunatone, like I mentioned. And that doesn't necessarily put him in a great place. Only one prize. Drew will be definitely, you would imagine, be taking 2 prizes next turn, either on that Pidgeot EX, or even now that Charizard is within range of a Solrock as well. Quick search coming down now. I think Defiance Band was kept. Defiance Band was taken off the Arven, wasn't it, with that Buddy Coffin? Searching out to Duskull. Will be looking to put Drew in an awkward position, maybe with a Briar play later on as well. You know, there are a lot of options that Lucas has to try and deal with these Goldengo.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded the knockout on a single prizer. Bringing yourself down to 4 prizes remaining wouldn't have been that bad, I don't think, in terms of a prize race, because then you're just taking out a Goldengo and a Genesect EX, right?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose with the problem for Drew...
It's the same as game 1, where Drew wasn't able to take a knockout on his second turn. There's just an attack there for that Burning Darkness of 210. But as I mentioned, if Lucas went 1 more prize ahead again, it's almost mirroring what we had in game 1, where Lucas went 2 prizes ahead before Drew could actually do anything.
Correct, yeah.
But I guess Drew's scenario there was that he couldn't hit the Golden Go EXs, which may be a bit more painful.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's a bit of an odd one to pan out, I suppose. And here we see another coin bonus. Just search, finding that Earthen Vessel. I think they're opting to discard the Lunatone, perhaps.
Yeah, so we're just kind of looking at what available is in the hand. The boss's order's being pitched away with that Earthen Vessel. We're looking to see maybe if he can find that second Professor Churro scenario. I'm not too sure if I've seen it already in hand.
I don't know if he just discarded it.
No, there is one in hand.
Yes.
I did catch a glimpse, and that could completely turn this turnaround, because then even as Lucas is going to go down the route of maybe utilizing a Moltres with the Defiance, but I guess that's one way to do it, and you kind of catch up via that route. But that could not completely nullify a turn from Lucas there and leave a Charizard with that Hero's Cape getting knocked out with relative ease.
Yeah, and the fact that Drew's on 5 prize cards isn't the end of the world either. We are forgetting that, you know, with a Dusknoir, it will put him 1 prize up as well. The fact that the Dusknoir has to knock itself out to use its ability. So Drew may not have to use 3 attacks for this game at this point. It may only be the 2 that is required if Lucas opts to go for a Dusknoir later on. Yeah, I really do like the Professor Turo scenario play here. Picking up, removing all damage on the board will take that Goldengo out of the range of the Dusknoir for an easy 2 prizes for Lucas as well.
Yep, so does have the 1 energy required for the knockout. Is actually not going to play the Professor Churro scenario here. Will just take the massive knockout with only just the 50 damage from Make It Rain this time. Pidgeot EX going into the active spot. Drew down to 3 prizes to try and bring this game back level in this winning in Swiss round 14. If you are just joining us, Lucas is already 1 game up here in this Swiss round 14 at the Stuttgart Regional Championships. Pidgeot in the active, Super Rod being utilized to try and get those energies back. Remember, we had a couple of those Fire Energies prize. He needs access to those energies and that Charizard pretty quickly. Otherwise, we're not swinging away at all.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think Lucas can take game. If he uses the Dusknoir on this Goldengo here, it puts himself 2 prizes up. And with this Charizard EX later down in connection with Briar, if Drew promotes another 2 prizes, we'll be taking 3. So there is a world here in which Lucas can take the game.
I love your circles. They're,
I know.
they're varying sizes.
No, they're not. They're perfect.
Well, they never go around a card. There's either just a picture.
I think I called somebody called yours sad bananas yesterday.
Sad but not potatoes. Anyway, there's enough potato talk. As we do see the Iona being piloted now, played by Lucas to draw 5 and try and put Drew down to just 3 cards. Remember, Drew does have access to that Genesect and Metallic Signal once again, so can pull out another Golden Go EX. As we just see, we do get a Pheasantipity into the hand now. We're going to use this quick search before maybe drawing some additional cards. Maybe don't want to give too much oh yeah, I like this a bit more. It feels a bit more comfortable because then you can cherry pick what cards you might actually need from the Pidgeot afterwards. Hits Ultra Ball, hits the Dusknoir as well. So maybe the Ultra Ball can grab that Charizard, and then that the Pidgeot can grab maybe a rare candy to maybe utilize that Dusknoir at some stage as well. So there's a couple of different options here. I quite like this. Let's see what choice is from this Ultra Ball.
Yeah. You can imagine a knockout on that Goldengo coming out pretty soon. With Ino being played, that Briar play no longer an option. I do like to get ahead of myself, so please forgive me. And here's a quick search coming down. What is he going to search out for here? Ultra Ball for
I would like that Moltres.
Moltres, yeah.
Because if we can swing away the Moltres without too much sort of energy cost to it, we get the Infernal Rain from the Charizard EX to be able to power up the Charizard and give that 1 energy cost efficient attack to the Moltres as well. And because it will be staring down at the EX, I mean, we're going to be knocking out this Goldengo with ease without any damage modifiers there. Bring himself down to 3 prizes. Drew there will be facing up against then a single prizer. Now, if Drew can overcome and gust over and maybe knock out the Pheasantipity, maybe that's why Lucas didn't want to play it down. That's one way for Drew to really take command as we do get the Moltres. Is it the first Moltres of this weekend? The Fighting Wings attack, being able to take the knockout and take 2 prizes, equaling the prize race here as we see Drew just instantly get that Golden Go down from that Metallic Signal. Now,
I can tell you there is Boss's Orders in hand for Drew. So with that Metallic Signal, finding another Goldengo for another coin bonus, fighting Gong, just thinning out the deck even further. No Solrock on the field, so Lunar Cycle isn't an option. Oh, do we have... No.
Just get confirmation. I mean, there was 3 prizes remaining. Maybe Drew was just saying, well, even if I take this knockout, there's no way for you to overcome the 3 prizes. Looks like Drew is going to be taking game 2 of our Swiss round 14. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic display of exactly just how strong that archetype is. Even overcoming that fire-type weakness on the Golden Go EXs and being able to bring this back 1-1. Here's game 2 once again.
Yeah, just going through the game there. So, yeah, Drew was able to find the perfect start, wasn't he? A single prize board state was great for him. Taking out the crucial knockouts with the Cosmic Beam. Baiting out those 2 prizes from Lucas was exactly what he wanted to see. The retreat into the Solrock, definitely on turn 1, is so advantageous. And as we can see here, nest balling for that Genesect finally is something we didn't see game 1. Finding those Goldengos, despite not even knocking out this Charizard EX, it didn't phase him at all. A 2-shot on this Charizard didn't really phase him at all. And yeah, going into those later stages, I think, you know, with the INO finding the boss, the Levincia, and that special energy retrieval as well, super energy retrieval, I should say, sorry, was just enough for Drew to say, look, I can take a 2-prize knockout here. And plus, then with Drew only on 1 prize card, it meant that Lucas was not able to use that Curse Plus to get ahead of those prize races.
Yeah, or even play someone like Briar to jump over that.
Yeah.
So both our players are setting up for their game 3, of course. Just over 13 minutes remaining in this round. We know sometimes the Golden Go deck can be piloted very quickly, and sometimes this matchup could be pretty quick because you're hitting for weakness as well, as we do get a chance and a glimpse of the prizes here. Again, nothing too crazy on Drew's side, nothing too crazy on Lucas' side. It's game on, everyone. It's going to be a cracking match here as we do get Drew going first. He opens Buddy Poppin this time.
Yeah, great start from Drew, able to find 2 Gimme Ghoul here and do have the first prize check of the game. I didn't see anything too fantastic in Lucas's hand, by the way. Did have the Artisan, can at least try and find a supporter with that Tatsugiri. It isn't in the prizes, thankfully. And a quick pass over to Lucas.
He top decked the Buddy Poppin again.
Buddy Poppin once more. Didn't even give me a chance.
Does have the Charmander now on the bench. Buddy Poppin instantly played now as well. It wouldn't surprise me if we just see the Pidgey and another Charmander come down. So let's kind of see the direction we're going to go here. Drew only has the 3 gimme goals, but, you know, didn't need to play too much. He was the one who went first. Lucas had the choice between going first and second. We could potentially see maybe a technical machine evolution at some stage. Tatsugiri hits the field. We're going to be wanting to attract some of those supporters who act as its customers.
This is exactly why it's so important in the deck. We spoke about how hard it is to manage 3 stage 2s in one deck, and that's exactly where Tatsugiri comes effective, finding those really so important supporters like that Arven to get set up on your turn 1.
Yeah, incredible. So let's just see. Lucas is double checking for himself what is prize. Just a little quick reminder, one of those technical machine evolutions, a little Duskull, 1 fire, 1 Arven, Ultra Ball, Buddy Putty Pop. And again, it's just really these one-offs of like kind of multiple cards, nothing too much to worry about. One thing I would love to see, I mean, we haven't really got a supporter or jet energy in hand to kind of not just waste it away on that Moltres to retreat into, but yeah, it looks like we're probably going to have to attach to the active Moltres. Does it have 1 retreat?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
thankfully for Lucas, being able to retreat into that Tatsugiri, definitely going to be the play here. Really has to get up and running, because we know that Drew has a method of being so aggressive with that Soul Rock and Lunatone combination. Attract customers. Looking at the top 6, can he find a supporter in this 6? No,
there's one. Right at the back. Lily's determination. Probably the best card you can get here. Unfortunately, the only problem is we have had to expend an energy to get into the active spot, so we won't be seeing anything like that technical machine evolution here, as we do get the Artisan played by Lucas here. Maybe knowing that Drew also plays his own copy, you know, didn't really want to give him an out to an additional single prizer, but it kind of makes one of those cards in Drew's deck just a little bit more obsolete, as we do get that second Charmander down now. Looks like we're probably then going to be utilizing that Lily's determination and just kind of hoping we hit the right combo pieces for the next turn. As you've mentioned, Golden Gold doesn't typically play any hand disruption cards, so Lucas can work with that 8 and try and burst back into action.
Yeah, a very fortunate top deck, and they attract the customers on that Tatsugiri. What looked like a pretty gloomy start on his first turn turned out to be quite good, actually. And seeing 8 cards off the top now, thanks to that Lily's determination. Is he able to find any way of getting a Duskull on the board? You'd imagine that's going to be the priority here.
Maybe even the other Pidgey, because, you know, if Drew maybe finds a way to get into Soul Rock and just Cosmic Beams one of the Pidgeys, no, doesn't put it down, wants to keep the bench space, pass over to Drew now. This is his second turn. Let's see if there's a way where we can kind of either maintain that single prize board state. We do have the Artisan that Lucas has put down. I think we did see a Soul Rock in Drew's hand as well. Yeah,
a top deck of the Soul Rock. That's definitely what the Doctor ordered for Drew. Definitely. And is he able to find a retreating option here? A air balloon in this circumstance in the Goldengo deck. That's kind of what he's finding. He does have the secret box, but what does he discard? That's always the problem with this secret box card. You do have to manage your resources effectively. What 3 cards can you afford to get rid of here? Maybe debating the Soul Rock, but he has price checked already, so you imagine he can find another Soul Rock. I think the thing is here, knowing that you have to take 2 prizes with a Soul Rock Solar Cosmic Beam, you are prioritizing keeping it in hand, ready to put another one on board. So I do quite like this conservative game play from Drew, and the secret box getting the Arven, getting that air balloon, was able to just discard 1 and use it as a bit of a sacrifice from that secret box, and the Earthen Vessel finding those really important fighting energy. Yeah,
Artisan already in play, so that's where Drew has then a card that's not really useful anymore, so it's just pitched away with that Earthen Vessel very quickly. He's just kind of confirming Lunar Cycle just before we drew the card. Soul Rock is in hand already, so we do get to Lunar Cycle for 3 additional cards. That additional energy was going into hand from the Earthen Vessel. We get the Air Balloon, we get the Soul Rock in the active, we get the attachment, we get a Cosmic Beam for 70 shortly. Just double checking what final other pieces we can work with. There it is, knockout on the Tatsugiri, first prize of this game 3.
Yeah, and puts himself 1 prize card up here. And passing over to Lucas's turn now, using that Artisan before any decisions are made. Let's check through the deck. What are my options here? What Pokemon am I going to get out here? Do I get out that Duskull? Start setting up some Dusclops to get some damage on the board to put myself ahead. Does have the rare candy in hand. Go for the Charizard. Nope, goes for the Pidgeot instead. I'm really liking this now. from LUKAS. He's got the pieces here. Does he even just leave that Pidgeot EX in the active, start getting your Duskull set up? But yeah, these are the awkward turns for Charizard in this matchup. You know, what do you put out here? Because you can't take any prizes. There are no options to take any knockouts with a single prizer here. You're almost forced to use that Charizard EX. And that's exactly what Drew wants to be able to see. He wants to be able to see these really easy, in this circumstance, 2 prizes to take.
Yeah, for sure. We do have that Pidgeot EX there. Just kind of eyeing up a number of different pieces for the moment. We'll see how this is going to pan out. 7 minutes now on the clock. 5 prizes for Drew still to take. 6 prizes for LUKAS to take here. Remember, he's only eyeing up and facing up against a single prize board state right now, as we do get the Charizard EX rare candied up into that big tanky dark type Pokemon. We do get the Fire Energy attachment to the Moltres as well alongside the Charizard. Such an efficient attacker. It's a nice inclusion. I mean, some people do still prefer the Chi-Yu, as we saw from yesterday. We do get another Ultra Ball now. Maybe iron up that Charmeleon, because that's probably a pretty big pickup. Makes your life a little bit easier without having to use rare candies on a future turn. There it is. Phantasmal Flames, Charmeleon on the board.
So there are a couple of options for Drew now. We know that this Charizard EX is going to be coming into the active to take a knockout on this Solrock. But what LUKAS's board state is still saying is, I am still leaving this single prizer on board. I'm still leaving this Duskull in play for Drew to be able to boss up and take a single prize knockout. Bossing his orders on that Gimme Goal as well, not going for a knockout on that Solrock. I'm sure if I like that play.
I've just, no, I don't want to talk about your circles anymore. I think it's enough. There's enough amusement for everyone watching the streams that some people can't draw circles, and this definitely isn't me. Anyway, moving on. Genesect EX, Metallic Signal for Golden goes onto the bench right now. Pheasant Dipty on the board state at the same time. We do have Flip the Script live and kicking if we want to utilize that, but there's a reason why he's put it down on the board. We're flipping the script. We're going to try and turn the tables and put it into your own favor. 3 cards, hits an energy at least, gets that metal for the attacker onto this Charizard. This time only needs 7 energies, not the 9 that was previously required with that Hero's Cape. That Golden Goal sort of coin bonus utilized. The active one now utilized for 2 further cards. Have we picked up enough pieces to get this massive knockout?
You can tell how confident he is by the way he's playing right now, Drew. Evolving straight up into those Goldangos, putting a bunch of 2 prizes on the board as well. He's saying, look, I don't really care at this point. I'm going to put myself ahead of the race here. I'm going to be able to take these 2 prize cards thick and fast. I don't really necessarily care if you're even able to take a knockout in response to this. 2 earthen vessels will put 4 energy in his hand here. I don't know if I saw the Levincia hasn't even used Lunar Cycle at this point either. Fighting Gong, another fighting energy in hand from the deck as well. You can imagine a Lunar Cycle coming up. There is a bunch of superior energy retrieval in hand as well to fish out some energy from the discard pile. Eyeing up what to discard here. It is going to be the Nest Ball and the Solrock, able to take 4 energy from the discard pile here. Let us know, Alex, how many energy do you need to take a knockout on that Charizard?
330 HP is 50 times the number of energies you're discarding from the hand, so you're going to need 7 to take a massive 2 prize knockout on this Charizard. We get another superior energy retrieval just from that Arven. No tool required here. It is another 2 cards to discard here. Already has superior energy retrieval. Does have the 7 already in hand. You won't be this confident unless you were doing it. Massive Make It Rain, knocking out the Charizard EX in the active spot here. It's over to LUKAS. 3 prizes left with Drew. LUKAS really has to try and stem the flow here. As you mentioned, he keeps there is that opportunity to still actually win this turn, but he's working with such a small, low hand size. He's not going to have those combo pieces of the counter catchers, of the Briars, of the Charizard EXs, of the Fire Energies, and so on to be able to do so, especially with the Duskull also waiting in the wings as well. But let's see if we can literally just slow the game down that little bit. We're going to need to take a knockout, probably with the Moltres, if possible here, and really just kind of prevent Drew from winning on the next turn. Yeah. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Yeah, even with the Briar play, the maximum mana prizes he can take this turn will be 4. Only because this Dust, even if it did evolve into the Duskmar, this Duskull here,
it will only be able to take one prize card. There are no two prizes on Drew's board state within range of that Curse Blast. So it will cap him to only 4 prize cards for this turn. That's still good, though. You know, if you're able to disrupt the hand of Drew, which I think we just saw there with the INO, this is going to be the best option for Lucas. He knows that Drew's in the driving seat at this point in the matchup. I think for Drew, it's just got to the point of, look, if you use Dusknoir next turn, I am going to be loving it because it puts me within one knockout away on a 2-prizer away from game. So I don't think he's going to be looking to play that Dusknoir this turn. Does find the rare candy.
Oh, here's the Defiance Band as well.
Perfect draw there for the knockout on the Goldengo with that Moltres Fighting Wings. Thanks to weakness, puts himself only 3 prize cards away from game. But for Drew, he's still in the driving seat here. Even if he's able to find a boss, even better at this point.
Yeah, hit the Superior Energy Retrieval from his Iono, or maybe from his top deck as well. Does get the second Gimmighoul. We do get a Metallic Signal to hand just to kind of shuffle that deck because he knows he put some key resources to the bottom of the Iono as well. It's a cut from Lucas. Drew drawing very fast here. Does have Flip the Script, so we're seeing plenty of cards. Does hit an Arven at the same time.
Levincia as well.
But then, do we have Boss's Orders, or is one enough? Because that can be quite scary if we do get the Charizard EX with a Briar play. Get Boss's Orders on the Pidgeot. This could be a massive turn here. Superior Energy Retrieval to discard 2 cards from your hand. Grab 4 back. You need 6 to take this knockout. +1 attached to the Goldengo in the active spot. We need a total of 7. His hands is going absolutely crazy right now. He gets a massive knockout within good time as well. Just under 1 minute 30 to go. 1 prize remaining for Drew Stephenson here. Lucas has 3 to take.
Yeah, and even if you would have thought he could have just taken out the Moltres here and been in the same position, requiring only 1 more knockout, it's so important to take out the 2-prizer for a number of reasons. Taking out the 2-prizer means that he's only 1 prize card remaining with a 1-prize board state on Lucas's side. Can't do any shenanigans like a Professor's Tourist scenario or anything like that. And it means that you can no longer use this Dusknoir here because it will give Drew the game. The downside, as we've been mentioning, of this Dusknoir is the fact that you give your opponent 1 prize card. I think this is the only option for Lucas. Evolve into that big HP Pokemon here with the Charizard and the Hero's Cape and just try and INO yourself to safety. But for Drew, it's still just 1 boss. He's leaving 1 prize card on the board with that Duskull. It's going to be just a boss and an energy for that Cosmic Beam from the Solrock. So, Drew, what have you got, mate?
Yeah, exactly. Massive knockout. Does have 1 of the energies already. Does need to get the Goldengo. He's just kind of double checking how many cards he's got remaining as well, how many cards he's going to be able to draw, what will he be missing. Has to promote the Gimmighoul unless he has an Air Balloon in hand. Again, we are shortly about to call time here. Drew is not promoting his turn. He's drawn his turn before that, so this is the +1 turn. So if Drew cannot take this knockout here, Lucas will get 1 final turn to take that final prize. We get the Metallic Signal here with the Genesect. That is kind of leaning into the new time rules. Of course, it is +1 turn once time has been called on the existing turn. And Drew drew his card. And therefore, he is the last turn of that 50 minutes.
I really do like just deliberating, what am I going to promote here? What is the likelihood of taking a knockout with a Goldengo against maybe the Solrock? There's only 1 boss left in deck, as we saw there from the check, and promoted that Gimmighoul, saying, look, I've got more of a chance maybe with the Goldengo knockout here. And plus, you can draw more cards with that coin bonus. Coin bonus for 2 rather than 1 if it was on the bench, and still has that Lunar Cycle, and still flip the script with 3 cards.
A big coin bonus. Did he hit it? Is that a boss's orders?
That's a boss's orders. That's
so then he has Superior Energy Retrieval. Is this it? I think you can see the pace has kind of gone to a bit more relief here. Is that enough? Boss's orders in hand, energy in hand, can target anything down. Drew Stephenson takes Swiss round 14 and will make it with 34 match points. He's going to be in a fantastic spot. We'll get true confirmation whether he does make it into top cut as well, but he's done it with emphatic fashion.